What it do, y'all? It's your girl MakeupnTravel, and for today's video your girl wanted to sit down and talk about the couple of items that I picked up from Unearthly Cosmetics. So I did pick up a variety of products and we are just going to run through those really quickly. I want to talk about formulas, swatch some of these things, and then we will jump into the tutorial, and then I'll give you kind of my thoughts at the end. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look with the products that I picked up from Unearthly Cosmetics, let's get into it. Okay, firstly, I want to talk about packaging. I find that talking about packaging can be useful to somebody who packaging is actually very important. It's not all that much important to me. As long as the inside product is really good, I really could give or take about packaging. But anyways, for this lip product that I picked up, it is from their Satin liquid lipstick range, and this is what the front of the packaging looks like. Then you have some information on the side. The back has more information, and then their other side has some information. So overall, this product states that it's a 24-month shelf life, and it is made in the PRC and distributed by Alien Cosmetics. You get 5 milliliters or 0.176 fluid ounces, and they also give ingredients. I'm not really good on ingredients, so I'm not going to even bother. I got the shade Janette, and I got this for a couple of different reasons. For me, I really like unique lip shades, and this was a shade that I had to let go. Very similar to this from Give Me Glow, and since I already kind of know I like the shade, but I just didn't have it anymore, I figured I would pick it up even though it's in a different formula. Like I said, this is what's on my lips today, but I will go ahead and swatch it, and I can't remember. I know I just said it, I think, but I got the shade Janette, and to me, it looks like a whipped kind of formula. It has a very unique doe foot applicator. Very unique doe foot applicator. I don't think I've ever seen one so slanted, but it also doesn't feel very abrasive, and I feel like there isn't a lot of product that it picks up, but the product that it does pick up does kind of go across the lips quite easily. Like I said, this is the shade. I swatched it right here on the corner of my hand in the shade Janette, and also just so that you guys know, the compact is really nice. Not only do you get the fun kind of decorative and unique top, but you also get the name Alien Cosmetics over here. So overall, really nicely about that, and that means that like this is their old name, so in the new packaging it'll be Unearthly Cosmetics. And I know at one point they were doing like a sale to get rid of the stock that said Alien Cosmetics. I didn't think about it, and I also don't have the money, and I didn't try the formula. Otherwise I probably would have picked up some things with that sale. Then I picked up 2 blushes from the brand, and I can't seem to find the packaging for the compacts, but they do have different. So when you pick up the blushes, you have to buy not only the blush, but if you want, you have to buy the separate packaging as well for the compact. So I picked up 2 blushes, and I'm just going to show you guys the packaging. I've already kind of taken the blushes out of it, but overall really nice kind of ethereal packaging. And then on the back you get all of the information that you may want about the product. So this product has a 24-month shelf life. It is cruelty free, and this packaging is recyclable. You get 7.5 grams or 0.26 ounces of product. Once again, it is made in the PRC and it is distributed in the United States. So really nice. I got 2 shades. One is Tangy, the other one is Bloom, and they have the exact same packaging, and just at the top it says the actual shade that it's associated with. So I like that. That shows that the person that runs this business is very attention oriented, so they literally have to take the time to put the right shade in each packaging, which, you know, small details. Like I said, I can't seem to find right now the packaging for the actual compact, but I decided to get 2 of the same actual compacts. I liked this graphic better than the other option. I just thought that this was really cool. You get like another graphic in the top, and then like you can see, you can put the shadow in there, and there's nothing really on the back. So I'm pretty sure this is the shade Tangy, and this is the shade Bloom. As you can see, Bloom is a little bit more neutral, whereas Tangy, let me bend her back so I can get her. Tangy over here is a lot more reddy orangey toned, and this one, Bloom, I believe is a lot more neutral, kind of pinky. So those are the differences there. And then let's talk about, oh, I can swatch them really quickly for you all as well. They are both on my cheeks. I just combined both shades today when I did my kind of first impressions look. So as you can see, Tangy is quite, Bloom is quite light, and Tangy is a lot more orangey based. I did swatch Bloom twice in case you need to know. So like I said, this is Tangy and this is Bloom. Okay, last thing I picked up from the brand is an eyeshadow palette. So I've talked about it previously, but I picked up their Love palette. It was the one that has pink and greens in it. I didn't necessarily like the formula of some of the metallics, so I just never picked up from the brand, but I saw a video from Tarte Baby, so I decided I was going to go ahead and splurge. Really quickly, this is the packaging. You have the same graphic that is actually on the palette, and then on the back you have all of the ingredients, information, all of that jazz. So in case you're wondering, once again, this has 24 months shelf life. It is cruelty free. It has 26 grams of product, or 0.92 ounces of product in here. Once again, it is made in the PRC and designed and distributed from the US, and I will have the brand Unearthly Cosmetics linked down below. If you do type in Alien Cosmetics, by the way, it does directly send you to this website as well. So I'm sure what they did is they just own both property websites, and they just linked them together. Anyways, so this is the inside of the palette. Like I said, there is quite a bit of product, I feel like, in this palette, and this palette overall just looks quite big. Okay, it was a lot bigger than I was expecting. Honestly, I was expecting like a third of this, well, not a third, maybe like 3/4 of what this is presenting. But what I'm going to do is just go ahead and swatch on my wrist for you all, each shadow straight down, so that you guys can see what they look like on my complexion. And yeah, so we're going to start off, as I always do, row by row. And first we're gonna go in with Serpent. And Serpent is a shadow that I actually have on my eyes today. This is definitely a duochrome. It has a strong pink reflect in the pan, but it pulls very, very clear blue. It's a really unique and interesting shadow. I really like that one. Then we have the shade Minotaur, and this is a really nice matte burgundy shadow. Really nice shadow. I did use this in my look today. I thought it applied nicely, and yeah. Sphinx is the next shadow, and this is another pinky metallic. This is very similar to one of the shades that I actually detested in the palette that I already own, and this looks beautiful. This is a pinky blue shift. Really, really nice. The difference between these two, though, at least on my complexion, is I can actually see the pink base here, whereas this one, it's a little bit more translucent, lighter pink. At least on my complexion, it kind of blends in and looks clear. The next shadow is Fawn, and this is a really unique matte. It is a matte, but there is some glitter in there as well, and because this matte is so light, it doesn't really show up too much on my complexion, at least from what I've seen so far. But I do look forward to kind of getting some more use and testing that out a little bit more. Then we have Basilic. And Basilic is a really, really nice dark blue metallic, but it definitely has some very strong blue glitter in there as well. I really like that shadow. I didn't use it today, but I'm looking forward to it. Then we have Centaur. And Centaur is really what my orangey dreams are made of. It's a really, really nice orangey, vibrant, pigmented matte. I'm really enjoying that shadow. That is kind of the main matte that you see in the inner corner of my eye. Really, really enjoying that matte so far. Then the last row we have starts with Griffin. And this is what you see on the lid of my eye. Really, really pretty orangey metallic. It does have, like, I would say a red or very strong shift in there as well. There's no glitter in this one, whereas there's glitter in all the other metallics that I've swatched. This is just a smooth, nice metallic. Don't mind it. I actually really enjoy it. Then we have Cerberus, I believe. Cerberus? I don't really know. This is a very extremely pigmented black. You really don't need a lot. You will see in my look, this kind of went a lot darker and savior than I thought, but I'm not really overly mad about it. It's just the fact. So yeah, if you get this palette, definitely know that you need to use a little bit, not a lot of that black. It is extremely pigmented, but it's nice and smooth. I like how deep it is so far. Really liking that black. Very good matte black in my opinion. Then lastly, but certainly not least, we have Medusa, and I'm pretty sure she's kind of like the inspiration for this whole kit and caboodle based on what I see on the packaging. And this is a really nice green metallic. I don't see like an overall shift. There might be very loosely smaller glitters in here, but it's nothing compared to the first three metallics, nor is it as smooth as that orangey one. So overall, I like the color scheme. I think it's very unique and interesting. And yeah, let's get a closer look. So as you can see, like I said, very interesting color scheme. Really nice formula so far. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about in this kind of intro. This is what they look like. I think it looks really nice. And with that said, let's just get into the tutorial. And then like I said, at the end, I'll talk about like my current thoughts. These are definitely not final thoughts. This is definitely a first impressions, but I like to kind of give you guys my impressions of the products that I've used based on like my history of using makeup for so long. I kind of get a feel of a product pretty early on. Sometimes they change, but very rarely I pretty much stick to what I said at the beginning. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial. Hey guys, so I wanted to take the time to showcase this brand, as I said, and since we're already zoomed in, we're going to get the kind of smaller things out the way, then we'll work on my eyes. So first, let's look into these two blushes. And both of these blushes really do look up my alley. This one is like a pinky kind of more neutral toned, and this one's slightly more orangey. I thought that out of all of the shades, these would be two shades I would get more use out of, but I think what I'm gonna do is use this more reddier toned one. Let me look at this palette real quick. Or you actually know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to combine. That's what I'm going to do. So I am just going to go back and forth. I'm just going to go back and forth between the two pans, and then I'm going to apply it to my face. So it's going to take a while. It doesn't look like this formula pulls very pigmented, but I can see it. It's a slight tint, but I really like to see my blushes. So I'm really going to just dig in and really build them up. Okay. And there you go. I think you guys can see now the difference. They both still pull, I would say, very pinky. Not getting much of this more orangey tone that I was expecting, but it also doesn't look like a flat out matte. Let me come in a little bit closer. So you can see it just looks like a very slight hint of a shade. I don't really see all that much pigment. You know what? Let me switch from this brush, but the actual brush is good. Okay, so you're starting to see more, but it's definitely coming off a lot more pinky than I was expecting, which I'm not mad at. It's just unexpected. But I will say this particular brush is picking up a lot more product, which I do appreciate, which is why I don't really give first impressions and then that's it, because you know, try it with different brushes, different formulas, all of that. So as you can see, this gives off like a subtle, I would say, sheen to the skin. It's not like a flat matte. My highlighter is up here, although that's kind of been disturbed based on how heavy I was packing on that blush. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't really know. It's not a bad formula so far. I like the formula, but I'm not loving the combination of the two shades, even though I thought I would. I thought that this more orangey tone one would pull a lot more orange than it does. It's really pulling quite pink, and just in person, it's not as vibrant as it is on camera. Always remember that camera picks up a lot more pigment than I actually see. So I also want to just go ahead and do my lip product, which is the shade Janette, and this is like a yellow based brown. I do already have my lip liner on, and this is from Juvia's Place in the shade Kola, and I believe this is from their Satin lip formula, in case you're wondering. The reason I chose this is because this was the only unique shade that I would get. I really like the formula so far. It really blended on nicely. It feels quite smooth. It's not drying down, which is nice as well. And the packaging is killer. The packaging is killer. Hopefully I showed you guys really up close the packaging before. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and set my face really quickly with my setting spray. If you guys keep up with my project pan, this is my project pan setting spray right now. Okay, so at least everything is set and in place, which is good. I truly hate that setting spray though. Can't stand it. Okay, so for the eyes, this is the eyeshadow palette. Like I said, this is quite a big eyeshadow palette. You get a lot of product in each pan. I'm sure I talked about it before, but there's 26 grams or 0.92 ounces. A lot of product. These look huge, but I'm gonna play around with this. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but hopefully I have some fun. So if you hear it in the background, it is raining. It's been raining all day, which is why I actually have my ring light on, because otherwise I would just look very off kilter. So hopefully that rain doesn't disturb the video, but we'll just see what happens. So I think what I want to do is maybe like a two-toned look. I don't really know, but I know I want to play with these two. I know I want to play with these two oranges. So first what I want to do is start to pack down. Do I want to start with that? No, I want to start with Centaur. Yeah, that's Centaur. And I am just going to start by packing this in the inner crease area. If you're wondering, this is the Sigma E45 brush, by the way. And so far this is applying beautifully, really pigmented, but then again, I never felt any type of way about their mattes. It was the shimmers. So this is kind of the easy part that I knew I was going to get some use out of. Okay. Then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with the shade Fawn. Actually, let me do slight blending with this brush. Just slight. Okay, now I'm going to do the real amount of blending, like I said, with Fawn. So far, I'm enjoying it. Nothing crazy so far, which is always good. Then what I want to do is actually go into the black, which is Suburus, I believe. I'm sorry, I don't really know. So I'm going to go into that shade. And first I'm going to start by packing this on the outer V area. This is a really nicely pigmented black. I do enjoy a pigmented black, and because of the way that I'm using this product, I think it will work really nice. I am just going to go ahead and tap and kind of brush off the excess, and then we are going to start to blend this. Okay, so I think this is looking pretty cool, different, slight little orange under the bottom of that black, but the black is really making this vampy and unique. I'm really vibing with it. I will say the black has quite a bit of kick up compared to the other 3 mattes that I used today. Okay, now what I want to do is use some of the shimmers, because that's gonna be the real tale for me, whether I'm gonna enjoy this palette. And the question is, what shimmers am I going to use? Let's see. Okay, what I think I'm gonna do is use this smudger 2, and I'm actually just gonna use a hair of this dark purple matte, which is Minotaur, and that is gonna go right here just to bridge the gap between the black and my shimmer, or my main lid shimmer. I don't need it to be a focal point or anything. I just want to bridge the gap a little bit so it's not so harsh and stark of a difference. I also think that will help with the type of shimmer that I'm thinking about putting on my lid, which I'm thinking about using one of these 2 shimmers. This one is a lot more pinky. I think this one is a little bit more multi-chrome dimensional. They all look really nice and flaky. That is without a doubt a thing. And I definitely want to use this one too, this orangey one. I think I'm going to use this as an inner corner, although this looks darker than these 2. Let me actually swatch them real quick. So these are the 3 shimmers that I'm looking into using, and they all actually look quite light, but this orangey tone one, which is Griffin, does look the darkest. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just take a flat brush. There's no spray or anything on it, and I'm just gonna go into the shade Griffin, which is, I would say, the orangey metallic in this palette, and it does look to have a shift and some flex in there. So let's see what we got. That's pretty. It's pretty, it's smooth. I have no problems with that. Okay, and then what I think I'm gonna do, I just wiped off that smudger brush, and I think I'm gonna go into this one, which is Serpent, and this is going to be my inner corner and the highlight in the beginning of my lower lash line. That looks interesting. It looks interesting, dark, smoky. Okay, yes. So what I'm gonna do is hop off camera really quickly. I am going to finish off this eye, also put on my mascara, my liners, and we'll see if I'm feeling like being froggy and putting on some lashes. But I'm just gonna jazz up this look just a little bit, and then I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. And I must say, I am very, very happy with the quality of the eyeshadows thus far in this palette. I've used all the mattes and 2 of the shimmers, but I must say the shimmer formula in this palette is not chunky. It's nice and smooth metallic. I didn't feel the need to pick up a glitter glue. I didn't even feel the need to use my finger, which I more or less, I'm not bothered by either of those applications, but I just really wanted to challenge this formula, as I said in the beginning, because I had previously not had the best experience when it comes to their shimmer formula. So I'm very, very impressed. And I do want to thoroughly test this palette up. I want to test out all of these metallics, put them under a lot of different applications before I may continue to purchase from this brand. But thus far, this particular eyeshadow formula I am very, very happy with. Like I said at the beginning, I wasn't necessarily happy with the formula in the other palette that I picked up from them, which is why I just never picked anything up. But I happened to be watching one of Tara Baby's hauls, and she pretty much went through a binge of picking up quite a few of palettes from this brand, and she was saying how this is the best formula when it comes to metallics. There was no chunkiness, no thickness in any of the metallics, and that was the problem that I had previously. So really happy that I went ahead and made that splurge to pick this up. Very happy about that. Then when it comes to this lip product, like I said, this is in the shade Janette. This did dry down. I don't know if it's like a full-on matte. It doesn't feel like a full-on matte. It feels more like a lip bullet soft matte formula. It feels very comfortable. I'm not feeling any dryness of my lips at all. I love the color. The color is beautiful for me. I really do like undertones like this on my skin tone. I think it just really nicely pops off my skin tone. So I may look into maybe getting 1 or 2 other shades if there are other shades that I think I'm going to get use out of. Otherwise, I'm very happy with this purchase. And like I said, I love the top. The top is so much fun. Okay, and then the last product that I kind of tested out today are two shades of their blushes. And what I will say is I'm enjoying it so far. It's not necessarily the color that I thought it was going to be, but I am still enjoying the application that I had. I didn't feel like it was overly a lot. I will say this is more of a buildable formula from what I can tell on my complexion than an outright pigmented formula, like something like a Juvia's Place or even like a Colored Rain. Does Colored Rain have blushes? They do have blushes, but this is a lot more buildable. This is not like overly pigmented, which is not a bad thing. It's just something that I need the shades in the formula to actually build on my skin tone without having to set it first. And I'm very happy to report that I did not have to set my base with a setting spray for these to pick up on my skin. They did pick up. I don't think in person, like I said, they look as pigmented as they do on this camera. This camera does tend to pick up color a lot more and mistakes a lot easily, but overall I think this looks really nice, and I'm very happy with it. I think it looks very like Halloween inspired, which I'm not mad at all. I literally just finished wearing my spooky season shirt yesterday, so maybe I'm in the vibes. I'm already in the spooky season mood, and that's not a bad problem with me. And I think I like this eye look enough that I'm actually going to go ahead and record my weekly makeup new news session, and yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I would say subscribe to my channel if you want to know my thorough updates. Like I said, I am going to put these to the test. I am testing quite a few products right now, and I'm hoping and aiming that if I can pull it off end of this week, if not next week, I can just do a roundup reviewing a bunch of eyeshadow palettes and cheek products and lip products and stuff. So I would say subscribe if you're interested. Otherwise, I am just happy that you took the time to watch this video. I would love it if you give me a thumbs up, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, which this should be going up on Tuesday, which means my normal scheduled video, which was from Wednesday, will be coming up, where I think I'm going to be doing a feature for Violet Marie and Cleona Cosmetics collaboration, and I'm going to try and aim to do multiple looks, swatches, and all of that tomorrow. So if you're interested, like I said, I would subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.